for a while. And recently there was a court case out of Australia that I put into the EMDR News site and various things. And birth trauma was one of the things that we have information on. All right, everybody. Let's see here. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's see. Okay, sounds like we got some sound. Hopefully everything is going well out there. So it's just a couple days after the EMDRIA conference. The EMDR International Association had their annual 2026 conference in Anaheim, California. Fantastic speakers. Right? We had Susan Mathewson talking about intensives, and there's some rumors or thoughts that this is where the field might be going. But interesting stuff in terms of intensives and the statistics and the research behind it. We had some great talks by Derek Farrell, and we learned a lot about what's going on in the field, including that EMDRIA is providing a couple $1 million towards research over the next couple of years. So they're now going to give more researchers more money in order to explore EMDR. So that is awesome, because the idea is to get more research done on this side of the pond in the United States, or at least North America, because a lot of the research happens outside of the United States. So we want to get some research here as well. And this is in response to things like the APA changing their guidelines and treating EMDR differently than it treats everybody else. You know, in terms of deciding what research it was going to accept and whatnot. You know, they're not EMDR is not held to the same bar as everybody else. They have to jump through more hoops for APA than anybody else does. But luckily, it's only APA, because across the country, across the world, most other organizations, both in the United States and internationally, disagree with the APA's positioning and the politics behind it. So we'll leave it at that. We also had some interesting change in leadership. So we have Michael Bowers, who's the executive director. He's going to be leaving that position in January. And we have Viviana Renato Mello. She'll be coming in and taking over as the executive director. So it's exciting times for EMDRIA and EMDR and the membership of EMDRIA. So, you know, again, if you haven't done one of those summits or one of the EMDRIA conferences, they're really well attended. EMDRIA now has 20,000 members, and there's about, you know, almost 2,000 members that go to these things, go to these conferences. So you can get to see some of the people, the big names. I remember Roger Solomon was there, Roy Kiesling was there, Paula Marici was there, etc. So there's just a lot of people there. Not getting everybody's name in there, so I apologize out there if you're hoping to hear it. But yeah, so a lot of good stuff that was going on out there in the world of EMDR. You know, I'm glad to be back. I'm still probably a little bit jet lagged, having been in California, which I'm on the East Coast, so that's a 3-hour difference. So there might be some stuff going on with that. So as we move forward, I did read a couple papers on the plane, one regarding affirmative EMDR practice with the transgender and non-binary clients. Very interesting read. There's no necessarily research in it, but empirical research in it. But that's not, we need to start somewhere, right? So it's good. It's good information. It provides some interesting ways of looking at the practice of EMDR therapy within the identity realm. How people see themselves and how their identity has been dealt with in different environments over their lives and how that's had an effect on them. So definitely want to get in and read some of that information there. There's a lot of times when you're going in and you're reading that just like clinical suggestions or clinical thoughts, and then research would come from that. The practitioner scholar is going to recognize something that's going on. They're going to bring it to the field, and then the field can discern whether it's something that they want to do some empirical research on and kind of move that stuff forward. So yeah, so hopefully that'll be something that comes out in a way, get some more research there. All right. But yeah, that's what I try to do, is to bring the research to you in a way that you could understand it. And so on EMDRnews.com, that's what we're looking to do, right? Is to bring the research there. We're also looking for current events, and the EMDRIA conference was a current event. Some of the grant funding opportunities, those are current events. Those are all things that we're going to be putting forward and making sure that you have access to. And then we also have our newsletter that goes out, and hopefully there'll be a new one going out within the next couple of days. So keep up and keep following us, and hopefully we'll keep bringing you some good news and good information. Today, I wasn't really coming in to talk about anything in particular, right? Because I haven't been here in a little while. But I did want to note that there are a couple people that I'm working on inviting right now. So we have Don DeGraffenried that we're going to invite. We have Orlando Payo from the vet centers in the VA. We'll try to bring him in. Adele, apparently, she enjoyed coming on, and she has provided an opportunity for us to welcome her back. So we might bring her back as well in order to keep that conversation going in terms of finances and making sure that veterans and other people have adequate information to overcome any financial barriers that might be impacting their mental health and their ability to move forward in a positive way. So again, guests are going to be cool. I'm going to try and get Gary Brothers here. He did a talk during he did a session during the conference that I thought was very interesting on modeled network theory and neurology theory. Basically, it goes into a couple different aspects of how we think and the brain regions that are incorporated or being used when we think about certain things. And he used it to talk about chronic pain. So we do have the pain protocol from Mark Grants and maybe a few others as well from people that are into working in that field. But his way of looking at it provided not only a way to provide psychoeducation, which expands our understanding of chronic pain, but also he provided a technique or a skill or a protocol that we can use to help people get out of thinking negatively, and in a way that negative thinking starts to increase the perception of pain, the nociceptive pain, as he called it. So there are three types of pain, right? You got the flesh pain, right? The actual pain. You got neuralgia, which is pain to the neurology, the neurons, the nervous system itself. And then you have this nociceptive pain, which is just, there's no tissue damage, no nerve damage, but the pain is still there. So that stuff is what the target is really for what he was talking about. And he did provide a good example, a good case study video. So it was nice to see how it worked as well. So it's pretty cool. So I might try to get Gary Brothers here to talk more about chronic pain as we grow here a little bit. And then maybe some other the names out there that might be of interest to you. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and to keep moving on forward with this, and hopefully to expand it and see where we get with it. What else do we got today? Again, I didn't come here with a plan today. The Wombat, I'm thinking about helping everybody create their own BLS program using AI versus selling it, because I'm giving the Wombat the BLS free. So I'm like, I wonder, if it would be helpful for people to figure out how to make their own. Not just rely on my colors and color schemes and everything. Of course, you can use that. That's fine. But just a thought. Some questions that I've come up with from people that are just newly trained, right? Where do you start with the EMDR, right? That might be something that'd be worth talking about, and having kind of a question, like a question corner or something along those lines. So yeah, I think I'm gonna like a consultation corner. So within this session, I'm gonna start to hash it up a little bit so that we have specific items that we can kind of address. Having again interviews, and then having people come in, and then using questions from consultation in order for us to kind of really get to answer the questions that are coming up in the community. And we see them all the time. We see questions in different areas, whether that's Facebook or another social media platform, or on the EMDR website, because we have the community areas in the EMDR website where people do put a lot of questions and information in. So if you're not a member, you're missing out on that. All right, everybody. So I'm going to work on a new schedule, right, now that I'm back. And hopefully we'll be able to get things out to you. And yeah, I look forward to working with you. Have a good one, everybody.